separate because it's saving the other recording right now. But so this problem is tough because all the decimals. You could either add like we used to and have to line up all the decimals, or if I momentarily bump all of my decimals 3 places, remember, we're allowed to do whatever we want as long as we like take it back at the end. I can really think of this problem as 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 5, 3, 1, 6. I'm going to put my bigger numbers first and then my smaller number of 580. I can add like this. So guys, I should see something on your paper like this, of like your set up addition. But then if you did it the way where we shifted the decimal, we have to bring the decimal back to where it belongs. So it doesn't go here. We actually have to bring it back those 3 places that we had pushed it over. And it would be 7.13. We don't really need that last 0. Absolutely. This is a great placeholder. Sure. That's another way. Yeah. This is just one way if you want to try to push the decimal. Because we haven't done this as much, so that's why I'm trying to show you guys, like, get a bit more exposure to it. Angel, did that help? Yeah. Okay. So what Lucy was essentially saying was if we break it up, and we could go ahead and add like 1 and 5. And I don't know if this is exactly what Lucy did, but you could just go ahead and say, okay, 1 and 5 is 6. And then 316, 230, you could put those together, and then you could add the 58. Like, you can do a bunch of different ways. Guys, there's a lot of ways to do addition. 0. 4-8. How many square feet of carpet will Tina need to cover the entire floor? Area of a rectangle. If we forget it, we can look on one of my area posters. I think I got like 2 or 3 up here. Is length times width. Guys, you can also always, in your CPM book or the ebook, but I know we all have a copy of the book, if we look up area, 10 or 511, right? Page 10 or page 511. Page 10 is a really good math notes box. This one that we've looked at like a few times. So guys, I would put a post-it note in your book here. Oh, hey, look, I put a post-it note in my book here. That's a really good page to have marked because it's our area formulas. So, length times width. Well, if it's 15 by 18, we need to do 15 by 18 and multiply those. Here, we'll go back to the answers for a minute. Yeah, I don't normally do math at 5 in the morning. Unless it's like how many scoops of coffee. That's the most math I do at like 5 in the morning. Guys, last night I set up the coffee, for this morning last night. So I was like, Friday, I got to get here. We got to do forum. Mrs. Goldring's gone. All the responsibility. I was kind of stressed out. Hey, you have an overdue book. I know that's totally random for math class, but I should give this to you while I'm thinking about it. Oh, go ahead. What's your question? Sorry, not to call you out in class. I got 47B. C as in cat. Not B as in bat. All right. So 4.8 times 0.6. I don't like working with decimals, which is different than I would have ever said when I was a kid. I thought decimals were better, but it's because no one taught me how to do this stuff like easier. This is really 4 8/10, and this is really 6/10. If I'm trying to multiply fractions, I know I can go straight across, but I got to make this improper first. So 48 tenths times 6/10. And here's where we can make life easier through cross-reducing. Guys, look up here, especially if this isn't what you did, because this is a much easier way to solve this problem. 48 over 10. Sorry, I can't write with my camera that close. Times 6 over 10. When we cross-reduce, what we're doing is dividing the top and bottom by the same thing. 6 and 10, they're both even. They can both divide by 2, right? So this becomes 5, and this becomes 3. Smaller numbers are nicer to work with. 10 and 48, those are both even. Those can both divide by 2. 24 over 5. So, I am off the post-it now. Or off the... 24 times 3. Sorry, this is a 5. There's different way. I mean, guys, this is one way to do it. Dude, you could have kept that, is what I meant. But, okay, that's totally fine. And then I can multiply by 4 to get this over hundredths. Or, I mean, you could just do 6. Another post-it, another way. Forget about that being 0.6. If you wanted to just do 6 times 48 and then bring back in one more decimal place, or we said do 48 times 6. Forget about all of the decimal places and then bring them back at the end. So if you want to do just the numerical, not like fraction multiplication, we can do this like we used to do multiplication. What's 6 times 8? 48, I think. 6 times 4? 24. What do I do with this 4? So 28. How many decimal places do I need? 2. So give it 2 decimal places. So 2.88. Right? 1, 2 decimal places. So there's a lot of ways that we can do this. It's picking the one that you like best. We're just trying to get you better at doing math. Robert.
On 4-8 on B, why did you divide it by 9 instead of 3?
I am so glad you asked that question because I bet other people were afraid to. 270. Not all of you. We just probably hadn't gotten there yet. 270 square feet. Please make sure you have a label on your number. If you don't, please put it on there right now. Or you can say feet with the little 2 above it for feet squared. Carpet's sold by a square yard, though. Guys, do this on your homework paper if you have space. So I should see pencils moving. A yard by a yard. Like, draw like a square here. How long is a yard? 3 feet. What is 3 times 3? 9. 9 feet squared is what's in every square yard. So 1 yard by 1 yard. Guys, sadly, somebody does not have enough self-control and they broke this. But this is a yard, right? It's really a meter, but so like this is a yard. If I cut it off, technically this is a yard. I got yardsticks over there, but it's too far away. So 3 feet made into a square, 3 by 3 is 9. Every square yard is actually 9 square feet. So that is why we would have to do 270 divided by 9. Here's the other way we could write out the work. 270 feet squared times our conversion factor. What's our conversion factor? There's 9 square feet in a square yard. Guys, especially if you didn't do this, I would do this with me. We're going to see stuff on tests like this very soon. So when you want to convert a unit, and this is what we're doing today, like we're going to do this in class today, we want to put feet squared on bottom. Why do I want feet squared on top and feet squared on bottom? What happens when I have something on top and bottom? They cancel, right? They cross-reduce. They like disappear. So how many of those square? So 1 square yard, we said, was 9 square feet. This is how we get to 270 divided by 9. 30 yards squared. Or you can say square yards. Questions? Yeah, Sophia?
So can I do it the wrong way if I just divide like
No, that's another way you could do it. So Sophia's thought process was, how many yards is 15 feet? So if I divide that by 3, this is really 5 yards. 18 feet is really 6 yards. What's 5 times 6? 30. You got to Florida. You went a different route. You got to the right place. I thought that would be easier, she said. Find the way that you think is easier. Because math doesn't have to be super hard. I know it's difficult, but it doesn't have to be super hard. It's what? But it doesn't need to be. That's because people have notoriously misunderstood it. All right, we got a lesson to do, so unless there's any other questions. Any other questions? If your homework paper is not done and you cannot turn it in right now, I would come to math lunch if I was you. But if your homework is done and ready to be turned in, please do it. Leave some stone papers on the floor. And then I would get that piece of graph paper up front. I would get the graph paper I have sitting on that cart. There's a reason for that. I would get the graph paper sitting on that cart. If you have that kind, then fine. Yes. What? You can do it with your mask on. Our header is up there on the screen. 4.1.2 scale drawings. 4.1.2 scale drawings. I know you can. Do you need to see me write it for you to write it? It's up on the screen. Here, you can see my pretty handwriting if you want. There you go, scale drawings. So, Ava, you with me? You got your header on the paper? First thing we need to do is figure out what the heck is a scale, and we're not drawing pictures of like a scale. But yeah, I know the English language sucks. Scale means a lot of different things. A scale is what allows us to convert between units. Sorry, ignore my post-it for right now. That's why it's on a post-it. Oh, I ripped my paper? What the heck, post-it?
Was it like an extra?
It's a super sticky, but what the... I'm getting a different piece of paper. We gotta draw a picture. Look at that. Travesty. Oh! I need to... Oh, crap. I've forgotten to pass out papers today. I need to do that in a second. Because 3A had a ton of papers I should have passed out. I'm going to have to go find them. A scale is the conversion between units. So, guys, just like when I said how many feet are in a yard, that's a scale. Anyone know how many ounces are in a pound? It's weird. 16. There are 128 ounces in a gallon. These are all scales. How many inches in a foot? 12. That's a scale. So if we, on our paper, decide we're going to make one box 5 feet. Go ahead and put that scale on your paper. We're going to say 1 unit, 1 box is 5 feet. So you can also write 1 unit, because on our paper, this is like unit paper, right? Graph paper is broken up into units. 1 unit is 5 feet. Now your task with your team, because you guys can chat about how many boxes we're going to need to use, wherever that post-it that just ripped my paper apart. I probably did. Thank you. So now what you need to think about is if every box is 5 feet. If every box is 5 feet, how many boxes would we need for like 100 feet? Or like, and don't answer that question, please, because you're going to talk with your team. Here's your task. Here's your task. I'm going to go get out of here. I'm going to go out of order with my lesson. Guillermo has bought a plot of land and is going to put a house on it. Or is drawing a picture of his house. Sorry, I'm remembering a different question that is probably on Monday. Guillermo's lot is 56 feet wide, 100 feet deep. I want you guys on your paper to draw the rectangle that would be the edges of his property. Draw the rectangle. So 100 feet tall, but you're not actually going to draw your drawing 100 feet tall, right? Because that would be silly. That'd be like half of the school. So talk with your team. How many boxes do you need to get to 100 feet? And then 56 feet wide. You know, for a second I thought about giving you paper to paint just to be funny, but I decided it's not funny. If you still have a progressing on the Chapter 2 follow-up, you are welcome to come to math lunch, and it would probably be pretty quick to fix. I don't hear a lot of conversation, friends. Still no Landon? Still no Landon. Yeah, I was about to make it easier first. What's 55 divided by 5? And then just go a tiny bit extra, right? So on your paper, how tall, or like how many boxes in like tall do we need for 100 feet? 20. So you should have, sorry, I'm abandoning that ripped piece of paper. R.I.P., right? What? I feel like I just activated something that I am unaware of. So, okay, do not tell me. Please do not. I do not want to know. No, seriously. Hey, no, I'm going to tell you something. Like, teachers have that weird role of, like, if we hear certain things, we have to say things, and I don't want to. So, please do not tell me any TikTok trends or any, like, no, we'll just leave it alone. 20 boxes. 20 boxes, label this 100 feet. Somewhere on your drawing, like beneath it, beside it, around it, we would label that this is 5 feet. Your paper should already have it because we wrote it up above. How many boxes wide? 11.2, right, a tiny bit to the right of 11. No, but just to clarify, also with teachers having that role, if ever you're in a situation that you want like somebody else to take care of for you, if you talk to a teacher about it, we're going to help you take care of it. Because legally, that's our responsibility. Like, we are adults that are here to support and keep you safe. So label this, how many feet? 56, right? We're going to label with how many feet, not how many boxes we used. This should be 11.2 boxes, so a tiny bit more than 11. So now let's look at the more information about Guillermo's house. If I look at this drawing, do I know where to put the house compared to like the corner of the lot? I know this is 8 feet away. Oh, there's one more piece of information they didn't put in the drawing. The garage is 20 feet back from the street. And we already know that this is how many feet? 8. So what we're going to do is on our drawing, come down to the bottom right corner. That's the front of his lot. We're going to go back 20 feet. How many boxes would that be? How many boxes would 24? If every box is 5 feet, going 4 boxes is going up the lot 20 feet. Anyone have questions about that? We went 5, 10, 15, 20. Every box is 5 feet. Now we got to go over 8 feet. Go ahead and do that on your paper. Well, this was 1, right? This was 1, the tiny little bit. 5 more. 6, 7, 8. Almost like in the middle. So guys, you should be 4 boxes up. And like 1.5 in. It's a little bit extra because this tiny bit right here.
Kind of like 1 3/4.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. But it's an awkward 3/4, right? Because it's broken up. So now that we know this point, anyone confused about that point? You can draw everything now. Talk with your team, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger up here on the screen. Talk with your team if you need help, but we should be able to draw pretty much everything. You know what? Hey, hold on. I'm thinking back to previous years. Even though this should be in the middle, let's go ahead and make your life a tad easier. Let's bump that to here. Let's just bump that to on the intersection. It was here. But guys, I'm going to warn you. On Monday, we're doing a really fun activity. Actually, kids at the end of the year will write about, like, this is something I remember from your class, where you get to design your own house, blueprints and everything. The decisions you make will determine how complicated it is to draw. So if you make a decision and your point is supposed to be here, and you don't like that, you can go back, change your choice, and put your point somewhere else. Right? You can make your things easier, or you can make it more difficult. So now, if we drop that point right there, work with your team to draw this. I'll come around for questions because I need to make this bigger real quick. No, like all of these dimensions need to stay what they are. The garage is 15 feet wide. Yep. Here's some people saying that. Oh, hey, at the bottom, label street. If you didn't write street right here, label street. Right, make sure that we know what side has the street. ASMR, what, you want to whisper your directions to you? If the garage is 15 feet wide, how many boxes should that be? 3. It should be 3 boxes wide. Right here. So this dot is the front of our house, like the front corner. So our garage is going to be right here. If you want to go ahead and say, like, this would probably be our driveway, you could label that, right? Wouldn't it make sense that that would be our driveway if this is our garage? So label as you draw. This is garage. I hope not. Like we discussed in forum, some of us smell. I smell real bad when I... Guys, you don't want to smell it when I take my shoes off. Trust me. My shoes stay in the garage. Speaking of the garage, my shoes have to stay in the garage. I have been told I'm not allowed. Now wait, hold on just real quick. Is 3 boxes enough here? No. And guys, we can't make this nicer because they want this to be 17 feet. So we need to go 3 boxes and then another like a little bit, not quite half. And go ahead and label that as 17 feet. Actually, it'd be better to label the 17 feet on this side, because then the house turns. Oops, sorry, knocking my camera around. All right, somebody had said Mr. Hudson. What's up? I mean, we could fill in the insides of the house. We're not going to quite yet. So wait, hey, if we want to say how long this entire right side goes, how could I figure out the entire length of the house? Has anyone figured that out by looking at the drawing Guillermo made? Daniel? How? This, Daniel realized, oh, this is going to be 17 and 38. Awesome. Good work. So if we add 17 and 38, what'd you say you got? 55. So how many boxes is that? 11. So we need to be 11 boxes total on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you count boxes, right? The in-between. We're not counting dots. We're counting boxes. So 1, 2. To make sure you're right, if you count the amount of boxes between the back of the house and the back of the property, how many boxes are here? 5. There should be 5 boxes between our back corner of the house and the back of the property. So, what's the back of your property normally face? If there's a street in the front, the back is normally your neighbor, right? So, we could label this up here like neighbor. There's probably a fence. Hopefully your neighbor owns it and you don't have to pay for it, but if it's yours, you might have to pay for it. Hint, hint, cough, cough. That's what we're doing on Monday. If the back of your house needs to be 30 feet, how many boxes is that? 6, right? Because how many 5s does it take to make 30? So 1, 2. Go ahead and keep drawing your house. I'm going to come around if anyone needs help. Ooh, and a pen? Holy cow, you're confident. Mallory's like, you have to get off. I got this thing. What? My students years ago taught me to snap my fingers in a Z formation if I wanted to sound sassy. Well, that's gonna be a problem from the get-go. You can't snap. It's gonna be a thing. Hey, go ahead and finish. Those of you waiting for me, go ahead and finish. That's what we need to start doing in forum instead of clapping. We need to get a coffee house vibe going and do snaps when people share poetry and stuff. Hey y'all, we're not just doing this because I'm a teacher and it's a 7th grade standard. Check it. This is what my buddy does for his job. So my friend Randy, this is the simplest that he could give me. Most drawings have a lot more information on it, but check it out. If we zoom in, so major thanks to Randy. I'll probably send him this video later. What is this 10, 20, 30? What do you think that is showing us? It's the scale, right? Whatever unit it's in, that's our scale. If we look up here, what does 1 tick mark after the number mean? Feet, right? So this is operating in feet. Sorry, my camera's getting a little crazy. So the lot, how wide is the lot up here? 36 feet. This person actually bought 2 lots. They bought 2 lots and they're combining them. How big is this lot? 72 feet long. How big is this one? 67. So he's combining both lots together. But look at this. It's actually rectangular here. But are these lots perfect rectangles? No. This is kind of diagonal. Because notice how 72 versus 73. And guys, the stuff we're going to start talking about on Monday, there are very strict rules about like how close your house can be to somebody else's, right? Or how close your house can be to the back property line, or like to the street, right? You can't have your house like right up against the street. There's all these rules that they have to follow. So then what else you see from these site plans, if I zoom in even further, as soon as it focuses, areas. Anyone know why we care about how much area you own or have house on? Yeah, that, but there's another reason. Sorry, this won't focus completely. I think I'm just like too close. What two things in life are definite, like for sure? Death and taxes. So how much property you own and how much house you own is going to determine your taxes. The more house you own, the higher your taxes are. That's how the government gets their like kind of cut of your money.
So the moral of the story is live in a shed?
I mean, if you want low taxes, but it all depends on what you care about. So, if we finish out this drawing, 38, how many boxes is 35? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then to go 38, I'll go a little bit more, a little over half. Same thing here, and then connect these. Boom. So then it's going to be up to you. How big is your bedroom? How big is your kitchen? How big is your living room? Right? You got to pick the floor plan. All right, questions on what we just did? Go ahead and label that this was 30 feet across. This was 38 feet. This was 55. You know what? What? I still can't hear you. Questions, Chloe?
Do we have to live in a house? Can we renovate a school bus?
I mean, you could. It's a sweet idea. On your notes. On your note. This is failing. This is not working. I'm trying to talk and it's just not working. Sorry, Mallory and I are having a moment about how I think my voice is broken. I'm trying to talk and it's not working. So, this is on your notes paper. Get out your notes paper if you put it away for some reason. This is on 412 notes paper, like whatever you call this, worksheet, handout, practice. Work with your team. But here's what they tell us. The garage is 20 by 25. So that would be this, right? If you have a highlighter, I would probably highlight this. So it's up to you to figure out what is the scale being used here, right? Which is what A asks. How many feet does each inch represent? And then I specified, that is, what is the scale, right? When we're converting feet to inches or inches to feet or any length to another length, that's a scale. Then what are the length and width of the living room on the scale drawing? So in inches, right? Then calculate what are the actual lengths and widths. And then this is really the thing that like why people often do math about their house. If you're buying a new floor, right? Carpeting for your house, that's $125. That would be super cheap right now. All flooring is way more expensive than that currently. How long do we have? 44. We got time. I'm going to flip the 5-minute timer and try to respect that. Work with your team to try to get through this problem. I agree with you. Yeah. take an inch and divide it by 4. Use that. Yeah. Keep talking, guys. You're on the right track. What are you doing, guys? You're sanitizing our hands. It's not like there's a pandemic or anything.
Oh wow. I know.
I will say I don't like the smell of hand sanitizer, but I've had to get over it. Ava, you able to explain that to the class? Why 1 inch is 20 feet? Did everyone get to the point that our scale must be 1 inch equals 20 feet? Because the 20 feet is the smaller measurement that they give us. So 1 inch is 20 feet is our scale. 1 inch is 20 feet. So then, man, how have we not used random cards yet? Then, Stella here? Yeah. Stella, how long would 2 inches be in real life? 40 feet. I realize we're getting too far into class and I haven't talked with like anybody. Oh, well, that's Ava. Mallory, what about 1.25 inches? Did you guys figure that out? For like how far this is? Peyton? Oh, they told us this. I don't have to do this because they told us. The garage is 25 feet. But if I check my math, that works out with our scale. That 1.25 of 20 would be 25. So the family wants to lay carpet in the living room. It's $1.25 per square foot. How do we figure out the square footage? Multiply length times width. Right, so the first thing we're going to do here is the 25 times the 40. Guys, if you want to go ahead and like shade or something, I'm going to get pink carpet. I'm just really feeling pink carpet. Pink stripes. Just pink stripe carpet. Yo, make your life easier. What's 25 times 4? 100. Then put the extra 0 on. It's 1,000 feet. Hey, we all make mistakes. It's okay. Well, we could also do 25 times 10 and then do times 4. So I'll defend Peyton that maybe her brain was thinking we could make this easier and use 10 and then 4. But hey, 2.5 times 4, that's 10. So then 1,000 feet squared. Guys, I want you to write the math like this. We're going to put the 1,000 feet squared over 1. And we're going to do times $1.25 on top and 1 foot squared on bottom. This is actually another scale. Anytime we're converting, and guys, we're converting feet squared into money. I literally did this summer. I put a new floor in my house. Cost me like $4,000. I was not happy about it, but it looks great. But we got to convert. What's this going to... Well, so times $1.25, we really just move the decimal. Like, it's really what we do. What do we have to pay for this carpet? $1,250 for just the living room. Yeah, I know. Flooring is expensive. That's why parents get upset when, like, dogs pee or whatever on the floor. It's not cool. Ooh, it is time to get out of here. So, guys, have a wonderful day. Hey! Hey, you don't need to talk to put your stuff away. If you didn't turn in 411, you should come to math lunch and finish it and turn it in. Have a great day.
No, you have a great
No, you have a great weekend.
You have a great life.
Okay, thanks. You too.